Woke up this little moon and my diamonds came in from Elliot. Pearls on that fucking bitch's neck, she so elegant. Shop about the fucking mall, so much made me a resident. This Maybach got 4 windows, 10, it only feel like the president. How I'm coming, I'm just standing there.
Hello, welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we're going to be breaking down the matchup between Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. Now, if you see this episode's a bit scuffed, might be a bit all over the place, I'm using my computer webcam instead of my camera because I'm in a rush. I have to go to work soon and I've just been very busy, so I'm trying to get this out while I have a bit of time. I'm going to be breaking down this fight. I haven't done a lot of tape research here, but I get the general consensus here of each way. I'm pretty confident each person's going to win. So take this with a grain of salt, but take what you want from it. We're going to jump straight into the tail of the tape. 20-1 for Usman, 19-3 for Leon Edwards. Average fight time for Usman, 16 minutes and 40 seconds. For Leon Edwards, 15 minutes and 15 seconds. Leon Edwards has a 2-inch height advantage at 6'2", Kamaru Usman at 6 foot. But Kamaru Usman interestedly, I cannot speak, has a 2-inch reach advantage here, which 2-inch height advantage for Edwards, 2-inch reach advantage for Usman, makes it a little bit interesting. And that's actually going to give Usman a great favour here in this matchup, I think. If Leon Edwards had the reach advantage here, I feel like this would cause Usman a lot of problems. But because Usman's got that reach advantage, pays him a lot of dividends here. We go down to strikes landed per minute, 4.66 for Usman and 2.62 for Leon Edwards. Usman's just a busier fighter. You see it in his fights. Edwards, he likes to coast a lot, likes to take his time. Usman likes to land those punches and do it well. And accuracy, pretty close for Usman. Usman is landing much more often, and I think we'll see that in the fight. And Leon Edwards is landing at 49%, 52% for Usman. Still very close though. Strikes absorbed. Usman is absorbing more strikes, but it's just, I think it's because he's landing more and taking more risks than Leon does. So Leon at 2.15 strikes absorbed per minute and Usman at 2.59. 58% defense for Usman and 55% defense for Leon Edwards. If this fight does hit the ground, my words are all over the place today, but yeah, if this fight does hit the ground, I feel like Usman has got the advantage. Leon Edwards, he threatened the Kamaru in the first fight. He did really well. Usman hasn't really showed his wrestling much more. It's going to be hard to get Leon down, I believe. But I think he will try. I think he'll mix it up with the striking, and that's what's going to make this interesting. Kamaru Usman does try. Takedown average 3.00 for Leon Edwards, 1.48. Striking takedown accuracy 49 for Usman and 35 for Leon Edwards, but Leon Edwards barely goes for takedowns. 100% takedown defense for Usman. Never been taken down, arguably against Covington, but if it's not on the stats, didn't happen in my book. And 70% takedown defense for Leon Edwards, which will be important in this fight, and that might help him. 0.1 submission average for Usman, 0.3 submission average for Leon Edwards. So I'm going to show you how to bet both ways in a minute, but just know none of them's by submission. I do have a money line though, so there you go. I have a money line for both people, but we'll get into that. We're going to start first. How to bet both ways on Leon Edwards. Now, you can just play his money line at 4.35 odds, which is, he's a pretty big underdog, and I can see why. I honestly think Usman's going to win. I don't really have a bet on Usman, but I do have a bet, but I don't have a money line bet or him in any parlays or anything, just because I feel for the odds, this is a closer fight than the odds are making it out to be. I'd probably give it like 70-30 probably to Usman to win. Maybe not that much, maybe 60-40, something like that, in the middle of that. I do think Usman's going to win. I do think he's got the advantage, but Leon Edwards is going to give him some problems on the feet that I don't think a lot of other opponents have been able to give him. So Leon Edwards, if you want to ride him, That doesn't sound very good, pause. But if you want to ride with him, just take his money line, honestly. 4.35, put $2 on. What? That's a lot of money. It's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money for $2. So if you want to chuck a bit down on him, just play his money line. It's probably safest. But if you want to get juicy, buy points is paying out at 9.50. Now this is madness. He is paying 6.75 by TKO KO, but 9.50 by points. Usman's never got knocked out. The last time he looked hurt was, like, proper hurt, was against Gilbert Burns. Surely got clipped here and there by Colby, but he's never really showed that he's got really hurt besides the Burns fight, I believe. And you're going to tell me that Leon Edwards, when's the last time this man's got a finish? I'm going to tell you in a minute. Last time he got a finish was decision, no contest, decision, 2018 against Peter Soboda. And then before that, decision, submission, decision. And then against some guy named Seth. So you're telling me that he's gonna, you think this guy would TKO Usman over points? I don't understand it. I think it's because people think, oh, how could he possibly beat Usman by points without like TKOing him? How else can he win this fight? But Usman could get outpointed on the feet here, honestly. He could get outpointed on the feet here, and that's why I think that this isn't a bad price to pay if you're on the side of Leon Edwards and want to make a bit extra money by a decision. I think it's his most likely path to win, although these books will tell you otherwise. And if you want to, I didn't throw it up here, but Leon Edwards by submission is paying 23, and he did threaten that Kamaru in the first fight. Just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Next, let's go to Usman. First we'll recap. So Leon Edwards money line 4.35 if you want to take that. If you think, oh, maybe he will get the submission, or maybe he will get the KO, or maybe he will win on points, but you're not quite sure, go the money line. But I'm telling you, if you really want some juice out of this, just chuck $2 on him by points. And I feel like if he's going to win, that's how he's most likely going to win. Now, we go to Usman. I think there's only, I'll explain why I've got by TKO KO and not by points. I know Leon Edwards has never lost by TKO KO, but I will explain. So Usman as a parlay piece, he's a big favourite, paying out at 1.22. I just feel like a lot of people are using him as an anchor for their parlays, and honestly, I'm staying away from Usman money line in a parlay or not in a parlay. This fight I'm just not touching. The odds are all over the place. I do have two bets, but they're kind of like just sprinkle bets, and I will say them at the end. But yeah, Usman, if you believe he's going to win, if you think he's got a big advantage, which I do feel like he's got an advantage, but it's not big enough for the odds at 1.22. Like, I'm not playing that. But if you want to, go for it. Chuck him in a parlay. If you want to play his money line, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend just playing his money line down. I recommend putting him in a parlay. Maybe if you're in it for the emotional ride, mix it up. Maybe you have two legs on your parlay earlier in the prelims, and then you got Usman at the end just to ride it out. The first two legs hit, then you're waiting for the last event, getting gassed, getting anxious, and then Usman may or may not get it done. And then we've got Usman by TKO KO. And this is the reason why. I feel like Usman is going to cause Leon Edwards problems by faking the takedown, giving Leon Edwards the idea for a takedown. I feel like he might freeze Edwards in certain moments. He'll be like, oh, is he going to go for the takedown? And Usman's always improving his hands. I feel like he could land that shot. He could land that shot on Edwards. We saw it against Nate Diaz. Sure, he got lazy in that fight. I don't assume he's going to get lazy in this fight because I feel like he's going to be losing most rounds. I feel like it's going to be pretty close most rounds. But I feel like, I just feel like he could get caught. He could get caught coasting. Maybe he does win a lot of rounds. Maybe he's in the lead and then he's coasting and then Usman finds a shot. You know, always threatening the takedown, going for takedowns, fakes a takedown, throws that straight right down and drops him. That's what I could see happening. And again, he's paying 1.89 for points, which I don't think is worth it. Like, I just don't think that's worth it. I think if you do think that he's going to win by TKO KO, that's not a bad price to pay, 3.75. And I feel like if Usman wins, most likely by points, but I'm not paying $1.89. I'm not paying a 1.89 for points when I feel like he could finish this fight. I feel like it's a big possibility. So I'd rather put the risk on by TKO KO to get the finish. That's what I'd rather put it on. And that's it. If you want to know my picks that I've got on this fight, and I do not recommend taking them. I'm just going to say that now. I do not recommend taking them. I have 2 bets on Usman. They're only very small bets, 0.16. Usman to win by TKO KO in round 5. And then another one, Usman to win in round 4, TKO KO. And only reason I'm picking these is because they're paying out at massive numbers. Usman by TKO KO in round 5 is paying out at 34.00, and to win in round 4 he's paying out 29.00. So I mean, if one of those hits, I mean, I'm up, and I like his chances. I feel like if he does get it finished by TKO KO, it's going to be in the later rounds, maybe round 3, but hopefully Leon Edwards manages to you know, get out of the way of the power, makes it into round 4, maybe clips him, nearly gets him finished, and then finishes in round 5, or maybe just finishes it off in round 4. I do not know. Just look at what Nate Diaz did in round 5. What happens if Usman does the same thing? Is all I'm going to say. So they're my picks. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry for the bit of a rushed episode. Sorry for the green screen in the background. Usually I cut it out, but I just do not have time. This has been Betting Both Ways. Hope everybody enjoyed and enjoy the fights this weekend. I'll be doing my picks hopefully tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, they're my picks for this fight. This is how I believe that you bet both ways on this fight. If none of these hit, I'm sorry, but I feel like they're gonna hit. I feel like Usman is gonna hit, and maybe by TKO KO. Don't play him by points. If you want to play him by points because you feel like that's how he's gonna win, just don't play the fight, in my opinion. That's it. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, have a good one.